Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Doc and Queenie classes. It's the fourth Wednesday at, oh, Queenie, hello.
Hi, I know, Doc. How are you? Oh my gosh. High noon is my favorite time, and it really is. And classes, how did it get to be the fourth Wednesday again so fast? This is like flying.
Wasn't it the fourth Wednesday last week?
Well, I always wonder what day is the fourth. So yeah, kind of that's my
Oh my gosh, yes. No, it is the fourth Wednesday. It's still hot in KC. We got some rain last night, so I didn't have to water today, so I'm happy. I'm inside, which is unusual.
it is definitely unusual, but it's super fun to see you inside, outside, wherever you get to go for sure.
Awesome. Well, I heard through the grapevine. I was just going to make a really stupid funny or through the tomato plant that you,
Oh my gosh.
I'm trying, that
I know,
you
seriously.
are teaching today.
Absolutely. And I always think in terms of not only Words of Wisdom Wednesday and some of the other things that we do on social media and YouTube and things like that. Most of my trainings come from questions that have happened almost universally in different locations. And so today I thought we would talk about event pages. And before everybody turns off and says, I don't need any help with event pages, the answer is maybe you do, because I'm still finding people say, how do I get to business at breakfast in Australia? How do I get to the posting parties on Mondays? How do I get to alignable events for some of the groups that you're in? And the answer for me is if the event page has been created, then the search piece is big. So then you've got to know where to go to find your events. So there's a lot of complexities, but there's a lot of simplistic pieces too. And so, with your permission, Doc, I thought we would go to event pages. When you do workshops and things like that, do you make yours public or just for your gardening clients, or how do you work that?
I do a little bit of everything,
Okay.
as we say, cross pollinate.
Hmm.
But yeah, I try to do an event page on Facebook.
Okay. Hmm.
I haven't done in a long time Instagram. I haven't been so totally focused on Instagram. That's the only reason.
Okay.
Um, YouTube, I don't necessarily do an event page. I will actually say something, in a video or whatever, that kind of thing. But I know you can do it. YouTube's a little bit different. But yes, I try to do a little bit of everything, but event pages are super, super important, I think.
I think so too. And once again, I'm trying to find the pieces that are universally needed, I guess you would say. There's meetup events, there's Eventbrite events, there's so many different places you can go for event pages. And when people have trouble finding them, that's the part that we wanted to address today. So, as they say, let's get this party started. So, the part for me that I think is so impactful, if you will, is the piece. What would you think? Like, people aren't sure what they're looking for. Like, is that fair?
It might be a good start, yeah,
Okay.
because you may, I don't know if you've run into this, you may run across a event page. What is that? Or they see it and then just don't know what to do. But yeah, I've had people go, yeah, where do I find it? And if you have an event page out there, yeah.
Okay. And that's a good point. So let's start first of all with event pages, and we'll go to LinkedIn first, just because I just did a posting party a few minutes ago with another team on Alignable. And Alignable is fantastic to make event pages and to push out the events. But let's find out how to find, and let's even start with posting party, because that's just a universal term. And people find you're going to a posting party. How do you do that? So obviously, people would type in the search bar of whatever platform they're looking for, posting party. And then they come up with this page and they go, see, I told you that Kathy Weaver stuff, it's not there. Well, I always tell people you filter your coffee and hopefully you filter your water. So please don't forget to filter your search. And in this particular case, you type in posting party in the search bar, and this goes for any platform. We're actually going to go to Facebook next. So you can actually see the filter part. But for LinkedIn, it's pretty easy as far as the universal part. Across the top are all the filters. So obviously in this case, we're going to click events. Boom. As soon as you type in or the filter part events, now you've got posting parties. So these are some I've done for nonprofits over the years. The Monday morning link is always the same. Our very own diva, Denise Vargas, hosts a posting party on the third Friday night of every month, Live Creatively. And then again, I've done several for nonprofits and things. So you can kind of see the posting parties. The filter part that I love is being able to actually find them. And so now you click on any of those links and that it'll most likely say event ended. But for the posting parties that I host, the links are always the same. And if you are creating an event, if you want it, shall we say, locked down, like Doc, when you were mentioning that you would do your workshops for your clients specifically, you would probably make the event page, but you'd make it relatively private as far as your clients could share it, if you will, but they would not be able to post it universally necessarily because you'd obviously want it folks that are knowing how to garden or needing to know how to garden. And so the same thing with my posting parties, they're universally invitable and shareable because they're public. And so let's talk about that, even from a standpoint of how to create an event. And let's even start with that. Some people are not aware how to create an event on, well, even LinkedIn, let's start. So you see where it says start a post. So just click on that. You're going to just start a post. And that's the part that, quite frankly, people get stuck on. Look at the bottom. And I always say, push buttons, you can't break anything. And so far, even with all the button pushing I've done, I haven't broken anything yet. And so you've got a lot of choices. So the calendar is the first piece that we're going to talk about today. There's a million things you can do on LinkedIn. There's a million ways to navigate it. That you can be a premium member, you can pay for Sales Navigator, you can do all kinds of stuff on LinkedIn. But for me, most of the time, I only teach the free stuff because there's so much to do free and not everybody is using the free stuff yet. And so you click on calendar and you hover your mouse over to see what it is if you want. Just to kind of have a heads up what the buttons are going to do. But in this case, create an event. That's it. My friends, it can't be any easier. And if you do it from your computer, especially, you have options, choices, different things that you can actually navigate, if you will. So you upload a cover image, and I always suggest that. And if you're doing it in person, that's lovely, but probably you would want to give credit and edification to the location that you're doing. If you're going to an in-person Chamber of Commerce meeting or an in-person restaurant training event with your team, whatever you're doing, you'd want to give credit as in tagging to the location because that would get them buzzed up and you would certainly want more people at your event, I would think. So then your format, all right, once again, what is your format going to be? And if you click in person, these options don't come up, obviously, because in person means you're going to the location, so it would ask for the address. So there's all types of things that you can do. The event name, you definitely want to have that. First of all, because of the search engine, you'd want to make sure, just like hello posting party, I could do Kathy Weaver invites you to a Monday morning posting party. And then quite frankly, it would probably be way harder to find filter to events. And who cares about the Kathy Weaver part? Who cares about the Monday morning part? I just want to know about the posting party. So make it as easy for your clients, friends, prospects to find as possible. So the event name for me, of course, would be posting party. And then you want to click, your time zone is defaulted. And I don't know about you, Doc, but sometimes I've got enough trouble figuring out if my friends are going to be in the UK, Philippines, or Australia. And so I just stick to Central. I don't even navigate this. You could change. I don't even want to even play with that because you could change because all of a sudden when you do, it would change your whole.
It gets complicated when you change it.
Absolutely, it seriously does. This way, I've got enough trouble knowing what day it is in Kansas City, much less go into some other time zone. So
Yes.
you can change your time zone on here if you are basically navigating or training a specific team. But quite frankly, I do my time zone and then I let the event page convert it in their location when they open it. Then, of course, you want a start date and a start time. And people say, well, why would you bother with an end date and an end time? Well, for me, most of my groups or trainings or whatever I'm doing, I literally stick to 57 minutes. And the reason for that is most people are going to the top of the hour, the next event, the top of the hour, the next event, the top of the hour, the next event. And if all of a sudden I'm doing something for 90 minutes or something different than my 57-minute norm, I have now messed up their other networking schedule events potentially, and I don't want to do that. So even though 57 minutes goes super fast, no matter what the training topic is, I want to make sure that people can get in, get out. Thank you so much. Save the chat and let's move on. So that 57 minutes is what I stick to. And so I have an end time so they will know that they're not necessarily in for days. Now, some people do days training. Today it's 8 to 5 Monday, it's 8 to 5 Tuesday, it's 8 to 4 Wednesday. We're only going to do morning on Thursday, and then everybody's off on Friday. Some people actually do that type of training, and that's lovely, I guess. But that's not a good fit for me because I would rather do several trainings, 57 minutes each, than one long workshop. So that is kind of my deal. I like to shift gears as much as possible and keep the event as entertaining as possible. So end date and time for me works. Now, drum roll, please. Description is so huge because A, what are you going to be talking about? Or B, is this monthly or weekly or daily? And who's invited? Can anyone come? Or do I have to already know how to something? And so the description is super important. And then please remember the speaker part. This is the part that a lot of people just don't fill in. It's always like, who cares about the speaker? Well, all of a sudden, I always have to remember your name instead of Doc. All of a sudden, you're going to type in Laura Christine because you want a Doc to actually be the speaker at your event. Because the answer to that is all of Doc's network now is going to get notified that Doc is the speaker at your something. That's important for Doc's traffic. It's important for your event pages traffic. It's certainly important for your traffic. And by the way, put yourself in as a speaker. Well, if you are a speaker at your event, or if you're just creating it, because I actually really create the ones for the Australia teams, and I'm not the speaker for that. I just create the events just cause. And so I don't put me in on that one. But if you are a speaker at your event, put yourself in as a speaker because once again, it's the traffic, the cross-pollination, all of those things work. So in this case, Laura Christine is a speaker, and then you would definitely hit add, and then of course, create your event. And it really, and you can post about your event. So that's the part, if you're doing something that is public, or again, even if it's for your own personal team, the event page just makes it easier because then everybody can invite from it. And I think that's a lot of fun, actually. Doc, do you have, this is again what you want to talk about. It'll put the event on here and you can actually post it. Do you have any events that you've got coming up that you'd like us to look at right now?
Right now I don't, but we can make one up if you want.
Well, it's okay because we can go to Facebook. Let's see if the screen changes. Did the screen change to
Yes.
Facebook? Okay,
And before you go on to Facebook, I'd like to, I know we welcomed everybody for joining us, whether it's live or on the replay. And feel free to, I'm monitoring your Facebook page. So if anybody has a question, feel free to, shoot one out and I will ask Queenie as we
Okay,
go along. So,
perfect.
all right, Facebook.
Absolutely. Thank you. Did the screen change? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So here we are with the navigation on Facebook. And what I always tell people is by the time you learn something, they're going to change it. So don't get jazzed up about learning it because it'll be different tomorrow if you do an update on your Facebook pages. These little stories at the top are always interesting to me because first of all, I didn't ask for them. Second of all, a lot of times they're weird looking things. Now these obviously right here are my friends, so that part's fine. But all of a sudden I just open up my Facebook and some things that are bizarre looking are on there. So don't freak if that happens. I don't click on any of that stuff unless it is my friends, but just do be careful and do be aware. Algorithm, AI, traffic, organic, all that stuff That's the reason that they're doing it. I think it's kind of shock value, but if you click on it, then it's going to be in your feed from now on, and you probably don't want that unless it is a friend. But let's take a look at the left-hand side of the navigation piece for Facebook. You've got your friends, of course, you can check on that. You've got the groups that you're in, different memories that you've had. And then, of course, the see more part. This is the piece for me that a lot of people actually don't seem to click on. I don't know why, but the see more part never seems to be something that they want to click. So do you want to check out your business page, or do you want to check out events? Now, before we go even that far, let's type in the fabulous posting party word and see what happens. Okay. So now you're going to type in posting party. Oh my gosh, is this a blast from the past? Actually 2022, which is funny, but we're not looking for a posting party that actually went live on Facebook. We're looking for posting parties that are coming up. So this is the traffic that Facebook gave us, which algorithmically, I suppose, is fine. But remember, we have not done the filter yet. So on the left-hand side, actually at the very bottom, which is always interesting to me, you're going to see results and you're going to see events. So let's figure out what it looks like to have a posting party on actual pages of Facebook and see what that looks like. Now, many times for people, they get literally this far, which is kind of unfortunate, but they literally get this far and they can't find what they're looking for. And I really understand the, I guess you would say, frustration piece, but I really have seen this before. Now, some people use Facebook only. As you saw how easy it was to navigate LinkedIn because the event pages are lined up differently. The event pages, as you can see on Facebook, are way different. The algorithm's different. The traffic is different. The organic patterns are different. How come our posting party doesn't show up even after we've filtered? Okay. So please keep that in mind. Facebook is a different animal, but you will notice right below events on the filter part of Facebook, you now have choices. This is the part, once again, that's why we went to LinkedIn first. First of all, for me, I find it easier, but how many people do you have, Doc, in your workshops that say, I don't do LinkedIn, I don't do Instagram, I don't do Twitter, I don't do TikTok, I don't do whatever they don't do. And all of that's fine because each of them does have a different nuance. But again, look at this, the filters that they've given us. So now you've got events. I'm not going to anything in person. So I want to find out how to find this. What do I do? So this is for me, one of the biggest things, the biggest choices to remember. Click on online events. That's the part that many people miss on the filter. Okay. You're going to be doing online events. Are you going to a posting party in person? Maybe. Are you going to a something else party in person? Maybe. But Facebook actually gives you the choice. You could sort it by dates, but what if you don't know the date? You can filter by location, but remember, I'm doing remote as far as virtual. So please remember, when you can't find something on Facebook, if that's your chosen platform, please remember to filter in the filter, because now you've clicked to events, which is great, but you still couldn't find what you were looking for. Then you filter to online events, and then all of our posting parties show up. So anyway, I think it gets a little tricky personally. But anyway, the posting parties are here. And depending upon how you create your posting party on Facebook, there are, Doc, I'm actually going to need your input for this one. Some people, when they do a posting party, a Facebook event page, they make one event page, then they make another event page, they make another event page, and they make individual pages, which is actually easy to do on Facebook because it allows you the edit button right here, or the three dots that is, of course, my favorite, and different things that you can do. Okay. But the edit button, in my opinion, allows you to repeat the event. And that part I think is cool because you can also duplicate. And so all of those things combined are, for me, an easy way to, I guess you would call it recurring. And so you can actually set that up. What do you think? When you make an event page, Doc, do you like the repeat part or the recurring or just the duplicate?
I like the same thing that you do with that little edit button. I
Okay.
don't want to reinvent the wheel every time I have an event
Uh-huh.
or have to figure out something new. So
Yeah,
if there's something easy that can, continually keep it going, that's what I would lean towards every time.
absolutely. I just noticed, however, this is an interesting thing that just came up. Monday is Labor Day and there won't be a posting party, but when you do recurring, it takes all the Mondays.
Yeah.
And I certainly don't want to hit cancel. So now what I'm going to do is actually, this is a perfect thing to show up.
I was going
Uh,
to ask, how would you handle that?
okay.
Yes.
So I've got these recurring for 46 dates. Okay. So for 46 dates, I've got our Monday morning posting party that will take us all the way through December 16th. All right. It's been for a whole year. So what I'm going to do in this particular case, all right, I can't cancel because then everybody will go, oh my gosh, the posting party's been canceled. So what I would do in this particular case is edit because there is no posting party on Labor Day. And I'm going to literally go to January, and the next posting party that we will have is January 6th, as far as all the rest of these dates is concerned. Okay. And so now I'm going to edit and I'm going to change the date of September 2nd now to January 6th of 2025. And that way I didn't have a cancel. Nobody's going to see, holy moly, the posting party's never happening again. And they won't have any reason to be nervous. This way, it literally is September 2nd can't happen because it's Labor Day. And the next time we'll be together is actually September 9th. How would you have handled that one differently, Doc?
Well, my first thought, but you already explained, my first thought was to say, hey, we don't have it today to a holiday. But like you said, even if you explain it, there will be people that'll be confused that might not even read it and they're still looking for you,
Okay.
that kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
Which kind of brings up a question. So it doesn't exist for the holiday. Have you had people looking for your posting party on a holiday and not realizing like, because we get trapped in our patterns. Not, I'm sure they know it's a holiday, but
Well,
they're still.
actually, not everyone. I've got Ireland, UK.
Well, yes,
I actually have a Philippines lady that attends, and then of course several in Canada. So not all of them would be realizing that Labor Day US is happening. I
yeah,
announced it at the posting parties for the last couple of weeks, depending upon who comes to which one, because not everyone can come every week, of course, for heaven's sakes. But with other countries, they might not be aware. But yeah, some people certainly still look, but they would definitely understand. And the good news is, if I had put cancel, they would literally figure the posting parties are no longer. But
right.
since I did edit, and now I found out when my last event was, I booked them all the way through December, obviously. Then my next event now will be January 6th of 2025 after we go through the holidays. And so now that edit from this coming Monday to January has now taken place. So I still have all the recurring events. Some people prefer to just duplicate and make a new one. The recurring part for me is consistent, but you see the possible error because that might include a holiday. So as soon as you find an event and it is on a holiday, I always suggest that you never, never, never cancel publicly. Change the date. Even if you're going to change the date to next year, even if you're going to change the date to something else, because all that shows up, Facebook is great to say Susie canceled the meeting, but now all people are going to remember is that Susie canceled the meeting. And
Right.
probably you don't want that, especially if it's a training class or a workshop or whatever it is you do. You probably don't want a big cancel all across your post.
Correct. That's great. That's a great thing to remember because
All
I've
right.
seen cancel things and it does go, you're like, oh, they're canceling? Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
It's
I always feel there's only one reason I would know to cancel is not enough people signed up. And if not enough people signed up and then they make a new post for the next time, I'm not going to that one either because I want to go to something that's well attended. And
right,
so, but just like you said, all that people remember is the cancel part.
right.
All right, so let's see, since we're having such great luck today with traffic and these fantastic pages, let's see if we can go to Alignable now. Did the page switch?
Yes.
Holy moly, that's pretty cool. Now, Alignable, just for those of you who are watching the replay or certainly on the YouTube channels, as far as other countries, the Alignable is only available right now in North America. It's a dynamic platform. We have over 9 million members now. I have not met them all yet, but I am definitely working on it. And so 9 million members on Alignable, but right now this particular platform is only available in North America as far as I know. You can find about Alignable an easy way on a YouTube channel called Alignable University. And Sue Brook is the trainer for that team, for that group. And it's fantastic. But I do feel that there are limitations as far as other countries so far. So stay tuned. Hopefully, we will have other countries introduced because that rocks my world to network internationally. But can you imagine what that would look like, Doc, to have massive amounts of countries on a platform as big as Alignable? So I don't know how all the back office stuff works, but it's a very cool platform. I personally love it. And I want to just show you a bit about the events on Alignable. So at the top of the page, Alignable is free to join, by the way. So if you just go to alignable.com, you can make your own page. I guess we probably should start with that just for profile sake before we do events. So as soon as you make your own page, you've got an opportunity certainly to mention your company. And the good news is, I don't know about you, Doc, but every time I see an edit button, it's like, thank you, because I have probably done a
Three
typo or
dots or an
something.
edit button. Yes.
I know, I've probably done a typo or something, or add new products or service, add a new book, add whatever I'm doing. So it's very cool, I think, to be able to have the edit button. But the good news is Alignable, in my opinion, is user friendly. But you want to make sure that your profile is set up before you start networking, because when you're in a Smart Connect, which is the events, the primary events on Alignable, you instantly can connect with people while you're in the breakout room. Literally click one button and it takes them right to your Alignable page. So you really want to make sure that your Alignable page looks like what you want it to look like. Obviously, my business is Miracles with Water. My books are listed on my banner. You just want to make it as concise as possible. Who's an ideal client? I love working with other wellness companies. Everyone has to use water to swallow pills or powder mixes or whatever they're doing. And so other wellness companies are a great fit for me. Obviously, our favorite naturopath is in the house. Anyone that's a holistic healer is a great fit for me. And so those are the kind of things you can put on your Alignable page, because this page is what people will see. Generate an elevator pitch with AI, for heaven's sakes. They've really thought of just about everything, but you can edit as much as you want. And then, of course, get recommended. So please consider you can do everything I just showed you at no charge. And that way you'll have, when you attend a Smart Connect, you'll actually have your profile up and running. So across the top of the screen, you actually see all the buttons to push. And I always suggest pushing them because you actually get to see everything at a glance. So one of the things that I love right off the bat is events. Hang on a second. I want to go networking. Is there anybody that wants to go with me? Well, you can invite people from the events, but you can also filter all over the place. And I love that. So let's take a look at, well, this one popped up on mine because obviously everything networking pops up on my feed because that's what I do all day long, literally. And so an event that's coming up that I haven't registered for yet, I actually have another 4 o'clock, so I can't go because I'll be in Australia. But the rest of the story is today at 4 o'clock Central, because it converts to your time zone, there is a Smart Connect, which is their version of speed networking, and 144 people have registered so far. All you have to do to register is click that. And in fact, I'll go ahead and do it just so you can see. And now it says, do you want to add it to your calendar or do you want to copy the link? Because now you're going to send it to Susie and invite her. Now, that's the part that makes it easy. And then you'll get an email as soon as the waiting room, as they call it, is open. All you have to do is click, hop on, and you're in. So it's Alignable's own platform, not a Zoom call most of the time. And you can also see other events. Now, my friends, I seriously push buttons, you can't break anything, but you'll notice on the left-hand side, filter, filter, filter. And there are hundreds, literally hundreds of events. And all you have to do to go to any of them, if you're a premium member, there's no limit. In fact, how did I not even do this? I always go to Millionaire Momentum with Allie Porter and Elise Smith just because I love those girls. And so I always go to Millionaire Momentum Networking. Click, I just registered. I'm already registered. It'll send me a message tomorrow. It'll send me a message right now in my email that says you just registered for the event. Tomorrow I'll get an email that says, are you ready? And so people say they put too much stuff in your inbox. Well, I appreciate that. But first of all, you're not required to read everything. But second of all, those of us with schedules like Doc's, I'm sitting here going, oh no, what did I do? And all of a sudden I'm getting an email reminder because I'm now on 3 other calls. So it's nice to have that reminder. But you'll notice on the left-hand side, and Doc, I don't know why they don't have a gardening link yet, but I bet they will. On the left-hand side, you can either filter by my groups, because once you've joined several groups on Alignable, all the events will show up. Or do you want to go to a Smart Connect, which is their version of speed networking? Do you want to go to Alignable Learn, which is training classes and mastermind calls, which are super awesome and amazing? Obviously, you network there, but it doesn't mean you're going to do speed networking. And then they've got demographic breakdowns, if you will. So you can go to women business owners meetings, Black entrepreneurs, if you would be so inclined, LGBTQ plus business owners or those who support those companies, Christian business owners, if that's a good fit for you, Hispanic and Latino business owners, Asian business owners, and veteran business owners. As I understand, there's no parameter from a standpoint if you don't fall into those categories, but perhaps your company can do business within those demographics, you are available to go. Like it's open to everyone in that regard. Sometimes when you click on some of the events, they would say, this is for veterans only, so are you a veteran? And it would have those kind of questions. But most of the time, as I understand, any of us can go to any of these if we support those businesses, those demographics. But Doc, I'm just telling you, don't you think this is the coolest thing ever to have everything at a glance as long as you filter, filter, filter?
Yes, there's no excuse not to be able to connect, whether
Absolutely.
you're offering an event or, there's no excuse. They've,
And I agree.
they practically have covered every base.
And then, of course, you're not totally sure what day it is. Hello. Doc, what day is it? I don't know.
I don't know.
I just know it's hard. And that's about all I can help you guys with. But look at what else happened. You can go to virtual or in person as far as the filter. I got to host Sue Brook, actually, one of the leaders in Alignable as far as employees. She works for Alignable, and she came to Kansas City in May. So Sue made, and I think I made one too, but Sue made an in-person event and blasted that all over Alignable. We had over 40 people at that event, and we haven't had an in-person event for the Alignable Midwest region, Kansas City area, for a long time. And I thought that was magnificent, especially in May. And I kept thinking, rats, for her to be here in May, graduations, Mother's Day, all that stuff was so tricky. But still, it was a great turnout and some dynamic connections were made. So whether it's a virtual or in-person meeting, filter, 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 push buttons, you really can't break anything. And then the cool part is you'll notice I just registered for M2. So now you click on my events. This is the posting party that we just did, which is cool. And so now you've registered for the event this afternoon. You've registered for this one. And of course, Death Cafe is the one I go to every single month, just because those are definitely my people. And so the filter, filter, filter part and the events that are available, it's just phenomenal how they have offered us so many opportunities for events. Now, I don't want to make everybody, I don't want to make people's heads explode, I guess. But one of the things that we're going to talk about now is your favorite thing, Doc, YouTube. And I know congratulations are in order because you just joined, you just achieved your 1,000 subscribers. Now, I'm going to show your page in a second, but I want people to understand, did the page change?
No,
to you? It didn't change, of course.
of course not. It takes, they're lagging as usual.
Let me see. Did it change yet?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. And once again, Zoom giveth and Zoom taketh away. So we got to be careful. So the bottom line is when you're on your YouTube channel or anybody's YouTube channel, by the way, one of the locations on your YouTube channel that I have found few people are utilizing is the community section. So all of those events that we just now showed all over the place can go in your community section. This is the part that so many people miss. If you're broadcasting your event and you've got a workshop and you've got a whatever you're doing and you've got a what, this is the Sue Brook thing. Okay. When I hosted Sue Brook in May, I wanted her to get as much buzz as possible because I made an event page on LinkedIn and Facebook. She made the event page on Alignable, and I added the event page to the community section of my YouTube channel. So you see how all of that works from a standpoint of exposure. So please remember, if you are having an event and the event is public and you want obviously more people to come, especially if it's virtual, you would most likely want to put as much buzz on it as possible, but as much locations for people finding out about it as you can. And so please use the community section of your YouTube channel. And then, of course, I have people say, honey, I don't have a community section on my YouTube channel. There's only one reason for that, and it's because you didn't add it yet. So please go to YouTube, how to create a YouTube community page, and it will walk you completely right through it. Because again, we only teach the free stuff here. Doc, I'm sure people's heads are probably exploding at this point, but I think event pages are not only underutilized, but many times overlooked. And I use them all the time, needless to say. And I found a lot of the cross-pollinating piece makes it so easy to be able to go all over the world. And if your business is global. And so I love events.
I do too. And thank you, Queenie, for, you know, talking about how you do it on different platforms and all of the little caveats that sometimes, a lot of times people don't realize. It's not a lot of work, but because you push buttons that I'm sure you've discovered some things. I know I have. And that you can't break it
So far.
so far. Because there's always the edit button, and one of my favorites or most used a lot of times is that little trash can little thing, and you start.
Oh yeah, I like that one too, because it's like, what was I thinking? Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you everybody for joining us. If you have any questions, please reach out. And I know Queenie will help you answer it if and I would encourage everybody to, and this encourages having your own events too, not just Queenie. This would encourage you to, give it a try if you have an event. It definitely, Alignable is fantabulous, as I like to say. It's beyond, there's no surprise there's 9+ million people on there because they really have thought it through and they make it super, super easy. So, but I would encourage, I'm sidetracking myself, encourage you to have an event and use those pages on all platforms if you can. Just push a button. So thank you, Queenie. We appreciate your knowledge with all of this and your sharing. And thank you everyone for joining us for Doc and Queenie classes every fourth Wednesday at Yay. We will catch you right back here. There's another class next month, isn't there?
Absolutely. We wouldn't miss it.
And stay tuned. We have some Doc and Queenie guest lives coming up with some fabulous people. We can't wait to feature and share information. And they're going to share their information. We're going to share their information. So stay tuned. Thank you, Queenie, and thank you everyone for joining us.
Thank you, Doc. Bye for now.